Hey there, everybody. This is your good buddy Jason. And just wanted to drop in and say hello. So, who here by show of hands? Who wants a mic check? Wait. That's a depressingly small number of you. But the good thing about that is I can decide to just do one anyway. So, nah. So, mic check. Scottish people wear skirts to hide their shame. Scottish people wear skirts to hide their shame. Alright, let's get into this week's pile of fucked up mess, shall we? Anger and rage can lead many people to contemplate and even bring to fruition horrors one would only believe could originate from the mind, the likes of the John Carpenters, Rob Zombies, Alfred Hitchcocks, and whoever the fuck directs the straight-to-video Shrek flicks of the world. But add in betrayal and vengeance, and oh boy, have you got a primordial shit soup that, first of all, just tastes terrible. Second of all, can make the most dangerous minds crave the flesh of babies. And I'm not just talking human babies either. All babies are fair game. Well, excluding ducklings. They're just so fucking cute. While this week's show only includes a single infanticide, I believe the rampage partaken by this pile of vile excrement, whose careful planning was to the detriment of so many, he would have gotten to the whole baby thing had he more than 6 months in which to operate. So, we got a super long episode today, so I'm keeping this slim. Be forewarned, this is a bastard of a show today, starring a bastard of a human being, if one could feel comfortable calling him such. P.S. Holy fuck. South Africa. Neil Blomkamp movies are not fucking around. Y'all doing you to 11.
Motherfuckers get bust off the spice that I bring. Guess who's got the party jumping? Clothing on rave, all pumping. It's actually different. You fuck the system. My system, but off their fucking face. Let me do a world now. Today's a paradise. Yo, put up to my bottom mic. Pump up the speakers. God to Jesus. We rapping actors who can love these bad boys. Like to smack me on the bar. My crew phone up. I tap the bubble up. Popping in your face now. You fuck the right place. My side is rock rate. My crew is cafe. So who's the fuck cares? Watch your fucking thing. I'm the top of the chair. Whoa, flip, that's the business.
All right, so that was a journey to get this all fucking set up tonight.
That was a debacle there.
It is 12:57 a.m. on November. It's on November. So, Chris,
Yeah.
where the fuck are you? Where are you? Where are you at in the country? What's going on?
Caledonia, Wisconsin. I'm about 16 miles away from Kenosha, which is...
Caledonia sounds super weird. Like it should be... well, I mean, of course, it sounds like Macedonia.
Sounds medieval and shit to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Caledonia, Wisconsin. All right.
Yeah.
And hey, Chris, guess what? I got a surprise for you.
What? I was trying to think of something funny, but I got nothing. What?
Nothing. It's too
I got nothing.
We have our very first guest this evening.
Ah.
Yeah, we got a guest smartass with us, and it's gonna be a whole lot of fun.
Dig it.
He's my buddy. He's sitting next to me on the couch right now, and because I am I brought everything but the goddamn other fucking microphone cord, so we had to go through a whole setup, and we're good now. And Preston, say hello. And is just Preston good enough, or do you want to say your last name, or are you running from? Oh no, you are no. Well, it's up to you, buddy.
No last name needed.
No last name. His name is Preston. No last name needed.
1,
So-
2, 3 smart asses.
Yes, you're really good at Muppet voices, man. No, you got to do your Kermit. Say, welcome to hell, you fine ass fucker, in a Kermit voice. He's got to clear his voice.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one to do. Dude, I can't do it. No, it fucked up. It fucked up. Can't do it.
Nope, and I'm not giving you a second chance. So anyway, hey, welcome to See No, Hear No, Speak No.
UFOs, conspiracies, and murders. Minus Kermit this time because my voice is just not happening.
You know, we gave him the Kermit once and it was okay. You could do it again, just not this second. So, you know, I'm going to jump right into it this time because I think we're going to have a fun little conversation here. You know, so we've had, you know, UFOs. We've had a guy that made dolls out of dead little girls that he dug up. We had, who else we had? Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. Our very first fucking episode ever was about a serial killer.
Yeah, well, I totally forgot that too when you said it earlier today.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Chris still didn't know anything about the topic whatsoever other than it was a serial killer. I've had a couple crazy fucking weeks lately, so we are a little too caught up to our release schedule.
Yeah,
so,
you know,
it's been a little strange.
It has been. And I was home all last week, so I kind of had my head up my ass for a good 10 days there as well. So,
but yeah, that's the way shit works.
Yeah.
So, I have probably the worst fucking serial killer I've ever in my life learned of. There were more. They had ones with more body counts, like Andre Chikatilo had an astonishing fucking just crazy amount.
Yeah.
But he took years and years and years and years. And I'm not in any way whatsoever saying I admire this person's determination, but it's certainly a strange phenomenon for a guy to just fucking snap. And we'll just get to it now.
Hey, but don't forget my corner.
Oh no, your corner can wait until after I tell him what the goddamn show's about.
Listen,
that's how it works. Hey, no, you.
Don't you get saucy with me, sir?
Period.
Fuck.
Fucking period.
Fuck, he did it.
That's right.
Did it again.
It's law. Deal with it. So this episode is about Moses Sithole, which is going to be really fucking hard to say the whole goddamn episode because it's just missing the H. His name should be Moses Shithole, and there's no two ways about it. And I mean, it's fitting, but you know, we try to stay true to the truth here.
Are we sure it's not like Sithole?
You know what? If I just completely changed the entire pronunciation of it, it might be easier. So yeah, let's go with the Moses Sithole.
Or why not just Moses?
Yeah, you know what? I think I think that it's a pretty goddamn good idea.
Oh, crazy
we'll go
Moses.
With just,
all right.
We'll just crazy Moses. He was a South African serial killer who had committed all of what was called the ABC murders.
Oh.
Which they were named the ABC murders, which is still a weird kind of thing to base your moniker on, but because they began in this is gonna suck. Atteridgeville.
Okay.
That didn't suck as much as I thought it would. I'm just kind of blind and told them anyway. Continued in Boxburg, and finished in Cleveland.
There's a Cleveland over there?
Yeah, there's a Cleveland. It's a suburb of Johannesburg.
Oh.
How crazy would it be, though, if he fucking started in those two South African places and flew all the way to America just to kill people in Cleveland because he needed it to be a C?
Of all places, right?
That would... Oh, let's just assume... Nah, damn, we can't just change history like that.
There are several cities with C names that he could have done very well in, I imagine.
I don't even know what that means.
Chicago already has hella high numbers. So, I mean...
Yeah.
All right.
Well, real quick, this dude, he killed and raped 37 women and murdered a toddler.
Good Lord.
And he did it in a time frame that is just fucking crazy for what he did. He did this in months. He did it, I believe, in just a year or just over a year, which is fucking insane
Jesus,
But-
that's like not even sleeping.
No, yeah, that's like one a day for like a long time.
Working overtime, fuck.
Oh,
30 what?
37.
So 1 a day is not that much of a long time. That's a month and 7 days.
No, that's
Indeed.
3 a month.
And God,
Plus
this
one.
shit is crazy. Like
3 a month plus a toddler for a year. That's fucked up.
We'll get to the actual numbers of, date wise and all that stuff in just a little bit here, but I just wanted to introduce the show, man. That's all I wanted to do. Was just oh wait, did we do the whole my name is blah 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 thing yet?
No, we only introduced
We introduced the show like we always
no
do
last
because we
named
say
guest as well.
oh yes, yeah, okay, so we know Preston.
We do know Preston now.
Hi, I'm Jason, everybody.
Yeah.
No last name.
No last name. None at all.
No last name.
I don't think I'm even going to introduce myself.
And he is Chichi Barbaros.
I have no first name, no last
Chichi
name.
Barbaros.
You just call
So-
me dude through the show. Not the
So-
dude, just a dude.
So
nothing.
Can we hear your goddamn corner already? I'm interested. You were all excited. You were like, holy fuck, do I have some really crazy fucking shit about South Africa to tell people?
There is
I wanna hear
crazy shit I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know why I just went all fucking falsetto on you, but I felt like it needed to be to make sure you understood that this is about to happen.
Oh, I understand. It's about to happen because it's happening right now, right?
That's true. As we speak.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
We always got to do our own news beeps. I love it.
So, fun thing number one, they eat worms. Plenty of countries do, but there's a certain kind of worm over there that there's a couple different ways that they cook it, but they said if you do it right, it is one certain way, it kind of tastes like honey barbecued chicken.
So they have a worm that they eat that if it's cooked in a certain manner, it tastes like honey barbecue chicken.
That's what I said.
All right, I guess.
Starting weird. All right.
That's a little strange. I'll give it to you.
The lady that lived in the shoe, you remember that story?
Of course. How about you, Preston?
okay,
Is that past your time?
No, I know about that.
Oh, it's just so everybody knows what our little demographic here we got going on. Chris, how old are you?
I am technically 36.
What do you mean technically 36?
Well, I mean, I say technically because American New Year and Chinese New Year are like a month apart, so
but
I'm only
you're
I'm still 36 in China too, but
still 36 in China
for now.
In Chinese years, for now.
Yeah.
You're a cox. Oof. All right, I, Jason, am 34 years old. I made that easy. I made it quick, and we're done with it. And Preston here is what year? He's 19. He was born in 1989.
98.
98.
I was going to say 89 doesn't work. No, that math is incorrect, sir.
I'm a dyslexic speaker sometimes.
98 works though.
So 98. How is it? I don't think that's I don't have a key fob.
Ooh,
so
98 was
somebody's
a
breaking
good
into
year,
my car.
though.
Go for it. But was it? Oh yeah, because I was fucking about to go into my senior year of high school.
Dude, the shit was happening in 98. You remember.
I do, man. They had Rex and Effects. Remember them? Rump Shaker? That was before then, for
That
sure.
was way before then. I guess not way. It was still the same decade, but
It's still a good fucking song.
yeah.
So, what's your next fun fact?
Okay, so I bring up the lady in the shoe because there is an actual house that's shaped like a shoe, and it resides.
Of course. How could there not be a house shaped like a shoe?
It's really weird too. So there's a specific place called Mpumalanga.
Umpungalanga.
Mpumalanga.
Gotcha.
And
Umpungalanga.
the worm eating is there. I believe the house and the shoe house is there. A couple of the things that in my corner take place.
So the crazy shit, it all takes place in one more time again?
Mpumalanga.
Umpungalanga.
Starts with an MP, which is usually an absolute no for me, but I gave it a shot.
Oh, for you?
Yeah, no. There's just certain consonants that shouldn't go next to each other with no vowel separating them, and my mouth doesn't like to do that.
Does something happen to the people that live in a shoe, or are you just telling me that there's a house that's shaped like a shoe?
That's it.
That's like it doesn't, like a giant doesn't come try it on, or like.
Not in this particular story, but there's other cool shit.
Let's go then. What's some other cool shit?
The most luxurious train on Earth. Actually,
the most luxurious train on Earth.
Yeah, not a whole lot of info about that, but sounded pretty cool.
Like who gives it that distinction? Like, is there?
I'm sure there's a way to tell when something is the most luxurious fucking thing on Earth. It's got to be way over the top.
You're telling me that they have a judge that goes to every single train in every country, and at the end he's like, that one's the most luxurious right there. Dude, that one's the one.
I can't imagine there are too many different trains on this planet that are like can even be called luxurious in the first place. Let alone
Preston. How many luxury trains do you think are going on outside right now? How many luxury trains that would be in the running for most luxurious? Of course.
Probably not many, because if you're gonna travel somewhere, do you ever think I'm gonna take a fucking train there? You know.
I've taken it. No, that's a lie. It was a bus. I've been on a bus.
Fuck a bus.
Chris, we have a crowd tonight too. We have people sitting in listening.
Oh crap!
Yeah, man.
I hope my
but they can't hear
you
in
this dress.
No, man. We should be Skyping.
Oh shit!
So great. Just with Chris.
My bra and panties aren't matching. We can't do that.
He said his bra and panties aren't matching. He can't do that. Same. All right. So what's the next? What's our next fun fact? But
yeah, so we have and I'm no conservationist, but this just is kind of weird. The Sahara Desert is growing by half a mile every year, and
that's a lot.
It's a fucking shitload, dude. And as of right now, it's already bigger than the U.S. It is technically bigger than our entire country.
The Sahara Desert.
Yes. The largest desert in the world.
Grows, would you say a half a foot?
A half a mile.
Jesus Christ. So the desert grows a half mile a year and is already larger than the U.S.?
Yes.
That's fucking crazy.
Yes. So it gets weirder. Okay, you got the oldest mountain range on the planet is there in South Africa that is 3.5 billion years old, and it's basically largely untouched for that entire time. So this
is it just super remote or
yeah, super remote. So this mountain range actually still holds bacterial microfossils from 3.5 billion years ago.
Holy fuck.
That NASA...
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, billion?
Billion with a B, yes.
That's fucking crazy that there's life forms being found in this mountain.
Well, they're not alive. They're fossils.
Well, yeah, I know that's what I mean, fossils. But they were alive. They were alive. And you said it was like microbial and shit?
Yeah. NASA actually regularly visits this place to study the rocks because, to try to figure out how life, came about and evolved and blah, 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 because these particular microbial bacterial fossils are thought to possibly be the first living creatures on the planet, period.
That's fucking crazy and awesome.
Isn't it, though?
What do you think about that, Preston? That they're finding fucking microbial life forms that are billions of years old in the world's oldest fucking mountain range?
Well, there's something out there that's older, I'm sure. I don't know.
Well, there's always something that was before the something.
I mean, if you put Pangea back together, Africa's in the middle. So it's said to be the first continent, the biggest piece of the first continent or some shit. So, I don't know. So, okay, so still more cool shit. So we got the most...
Hold on, wait.
What?
I need you to pick your top 3 now if there's more than 3.
Oh, shit. Okay, all right, top 3. The Vredefort Dome is a World Heritage Site. I don't know why they call it a dome, but it is the largest and almost very close to the oldest meteor impact site on the planet.
Oh, so like it's a crater, but that's an inverted dome. Fuck it.
It has its own magnetic field.
Holy so that means there's still a ton of fucking meteor there, correct?
The impact itself is over 2 billion with a B years old.
Jeez,
300 kilometers wide. And they figure that after doing the math, the meteor itself was probably right around 10 kilometers across, which is like a small fucking mountain crashing to the earth.
Gee, god damn. So, well, you didn't. When you do kilometers and stuff, man, I'm going to need you to do conversions.
10 kilometers is about 8 miles.
That's pretty goddamn huge.
Yeah.
All right,
no
that's a
fucking
pretty
joke.
good. That's a pretty good number 3. Give us a number 2, Mr. David Letterman.
All right. Okay, this is the one I was telling you about earlier that blew my fucking mind. Okay, so in somewhere out there in Mpumalanga, in 2005, they discovered a circular stone structure. Now, before you start picturing fucking Stonehenge, it's not like that. It's a bunch of megalithic rocks that are just in what looks like, to the layman, it just looks like they're just megalithic rocks scattered around. But, when mathematicians and scientists get down to inspecting things, they always seem to find something cool. So this particular stone structure, after dating whichever way they could, they probably dug underneath one of the rocks and dated some of the fucking plant matter underneath.
I thought you meant they took them to Chili's and they wined and dined them, and then maybe they went to Baskin Robbins and just tried every fucking one with one of those little sample spoons.
No,
Oof.
2-for-1 draft, straight to the hotel.
That is a good date, man.
Yes, sir.
That is a good date, is what I'm saying. So, how did they date it again? From the rocks around it, you said.
Yeah. Well, they can't carbon date rocks, so they have to dig around and try to find something organic that has been there underneath the rock.
Why can't they carbon date rocks?
Because what? What do you mean? What, do you not really? You're really asking me that?
Yeah,
because there's no carbon-14 in rocks.
Excuse me.
If there's no carbon-14, it doesn't deteriorate, then they can't determine the rate of deterioration.
Then how do they date mountains?
They don't.
Ooh,
they don't. The only way they can possibly do that is okay, let's say if it's still attached to the fucking ground, it's not an actual rock that's chilling lone by itself.
Right.
They know roughly how long it takes a certain type of rock to grow. But at the same time, it's still all speculative because we don't know all of the conditions that were going on at the time the rock was growing between, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
You know what's funny? Is every time you say at the same time, I follow it in my head with the dope rhymes that I kick, and I know, I pull some old funky shit. Every single fucking time.
Well, it does add to your collection.
Time. The selection.
It symbolizes dope. So take a toke, but don't choke.
Number 1 is.
So wait. No, this is.
We're still on number 2.
I'm gonna finish it. This is it. So dating, they're coming up with 75,000 years, which is what blows my mind because as they put this together, they realize that these rocks are in the shape and creating a functional, mostly intact, monolithic stone calendar that sits.
Really?
That sits fucking possibly not coincidentally on the same exact longitude line with the Great Zimbabwe ruins and the pyramids of Giza. Also speculated that it is the calendar itself was also somehow aligned with the rise of Orion's belt in that particular year, 75,000 of those ago.
75,000 years
Oh man,
ago.
that's what blows my mind right there. Before that, the oldest thing we know of is 12,000 years old, and that's Göbekli Tepe, which we'll get into in another episode down the road. So Number
That's
one
fucking
and
crazy.
final thing is that in the Tunisia desert is where Tatooine is, and you can actually go there and stay in Luke Skywalker's house if you want to.
I have seen pictures of that before, but didn't it fall into like serious disrepair or some shit?
Probably. It's in the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah, but maybe they restarted it, or not restarted it, but like, you know, painted everything again and built it again since the movies were going to be so good and shit.
Probably.
But anyway, dude, brava. That was great, man. I liked it.
I really want to read more about that calendar thing, though. That's cool.
Yeah, I really want to read more about calendars. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Gross.
Fuck your left cheek. How you doing over there, Justin?
Just listening in my zone.
All right, well, we're going to need you jumping in on this because this shit is fucking nuts. Are we ready? Okay, disclaimer, right quick, like super quick disclaimer. This one is bad. Like, this dude was not a good person at all. So we're going to get into some somewhat serious detail here. I'm going to try to do it tactfully. And as you know, we always say, well, we only say when we need to say, we never make fun of the victims of these crimes at all, because that would be so fucked up. But you know, this dude, he's fair game, because he's a dickhole and 3/4. It's so bad.
Now, having given the disclaimer, shouldn't that kind of like excuse us for lack of tact?
I mean, we don't have to necessarily have tact. We just, we need to stay away from. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go.
Well, we don't slut shame here.
No, because we love them.
Yes, that's right. Continue.
Okay, but we don't love them hoes. I'm out the dough.
No, we don't pay for it ever.
And I'll be. So back
rolling in my
to
continue. Sorry.
Back to Moses Sithole.
Sithole, motherfucker.
Sithole. Sithole. Not one of the articles I read made fun of his name.
I think
like, how could you not?
Knew we were going to make fun of him one day.
Oh man, the universe is a smart son of a bitch, isn't it?
A little evil though.
Yeah,
it had to come to this for us to make fun of him.
He's a dick sometimes.
They could have just sent him to school with us.
I had a guy in my classes. This really cool, friggin' tall black dude, real laid back, whose name was Reginald Blunt.
Ah, you know what?
And he, yeah, exactly. Reggie Blunt, yes,
Blunt.
And which was even fucking better, because they're both yeah.
This is gonna sound like a fucking ridiculous one-up, but I shit you not. You can ask my sister. When we lived with my pops in Mobile for a year, we went to a school. Actually, fuck, she might not have been there. I gotta find somebody anyway. So anyway, the dude's name, he was a senior when I was a freshman, and he was always being called to the fucking principal's office. The dude's name was Trip Blunt. And I shit you not, I'm not trying to be a dick and one-up you. This is true. This kid's name was Trip Blunt.
Trip Blunt?
Trip Blunt. Him and Reggie would have gotten along probably, except Trip was a white kid and he probably ate a bunch of acid.
Trip and Reggie Blunt. Trip is a white kid, eats a lot of acid, and Reggie does not do those things.
Probably does not do those things.
He deals with his namesake very gracefully.
Oh, wow.
1 second. Okay. So, back to goddamn Moses Sithole. Oh, wait, one more name story real quick. Fucking for just one 9-week semester dealie back in the day, I was in a class with a kid whose name was Fuck Loy. His name was Fuck.
Nice.
And he would yell at the teacher every time she called him Fook or Puck. He's like, no, my name is Fuck Loy.
That's
and
awesome.
It was great. So, back to Moses fucking crack bastard Sithole. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
He is and was and is going to be for the near future. He fucking their most prolific serial killer, of course. That shit's insane. Oh, and actually, well, no, yeah, that's right, because he killed fucking 37 women and a baby or toddler or young child, as you will.
Awful.
Yeah, it's God, it's bad. So, this all happened in between January and October of 1995.
Holy crap.
Between January and October of the same fucking year.
Good God, man.
That's insane.
I remember that year very well, and yeah, I wasn't raping and murdering people. I just
No. Why would you be, Preston? What were you doing in 1995?
I wasn't in twinkling my dad's eye.
Oh, well, that's good then. You couldn't absorb the terrible fucking energy coming from this shit. So
I actually almost worked the House of Shock that year.
Really?
Yeah. My homeboy. Well, you don't remember. You wouldn't remember him because my homeboy Jonathan Anselmo was actually.
I remember Jonathan Anselmo.
Do you really?
He was my cousin's next door neighbor.
Yeah. Well, was he?
He broke into their house one time and stole my cousin's fucking record player.
I don't doubt that, but yeah, he was Phil's second cousin, and he used to work the House of Shock.
Yeah, House of Shock is okay, I guess, sometimes.
But
House of Shock is gone
no, it's not. He was here this year.
for the last year because one
Really?
of the owners is dying.
what?
Oh, so there'll be no more. Well, you gotta say that in the microphone. You can't. Yeah. Oh, you can't just tell us information that nobody else can hear.
I heard it slightly, but I really.
I'm sitting right here and I didn't hear it. They just filmed a movie in 3 days.
About the House of Shock?
About the House of Shock? Nope. No one knows. no one knows. It will never be found out.
Okay.
So, let's get into the crappiness of Mr. Sithole. Okay? So, the deal with him was 95 was the year that apartheid ended. So, shit was really, really, really fucking bad for anyone of color in South Africa during apartheid. That was
I don't know what that word means.
just, you don't know it? Okay, it's well, I mean, I don't know what it means either, but I know what it does. And what it does is it's state sanctioned segregation and basically abuse. It is just a license for abuse. They fucked people up so bad, and it's I can't even. Yeah,
that doesn't sound nice at all.
So they built they made designated areas that's the only place that black people could live at all, and
Fucking British.
the only people that could ever leave these segregated areas were the fit young ones, that the fit young men that would go out and be laborers for the whites.
Oh.
So this is the kind of thing that Sithole grew up in.
Then this is the Brits, right? These are just British colony, South Africa, right?
I don't know. Is South Africa a British colony? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Well, was it during apartheid? Like,
Well, it's got to be white of some kind.
yeah. Well, they're of course white. Yeah. Let's go ahead and blame it on the Brits. Well, you know what? Let's not do that because England likes us.
You tell them black people they can't be allowed in Africa. That's something only white people would do.
Oh, that's
seriously.
That's somehow, even though you were just defending you were opposing the idea of apartheid, but at the same time You kind of sounded racist.
Dude, I am an equal opportunity hater. I don't. The shit's wrong. It's not. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just. Yeah, no, it's not okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So, he was. He was. His dad was dead when he was born, and his mom had, I believe, AIDS, possibly. Sorry. This. I'm just really looking real hard for what I'm supposed to be. Okay,
yeah,
so
your head notes are doing a good job
dude,
there, huh?
Dude, my notes are terrible because I didn't fucking do any.
This is pretty sloppy, son.
Hey man, come on. You know sometimes
Can't read your own handwriting.
Oh wait. This is pretty great. His parents' name were Simon and Sophie Sithole.
Wow.
So Simon and Sophie Sithole gave birth to Moses. And, he was one of 5 kids, which is a bunch, especially in that time period where fucking they were born into not slavery, but they were born into abject poverty.
I mean, call it what you want, dude. Semantics. Now, come on.
Well, slavery is forced labor by someone you own. This was, we don't want to fucking be anywhere near you.
Oh.
So we'll station people with guns outside a fenced-in, shack shanty town that you can't leave ever.
So almost more like concentration camps, or kind of like the bastard, like
kind of like concentration camps, but
quarantining a race.
Yes, it's quarantine. Yeah, absolutely, because they didn't. There weren't mass. I mean, people fucking killed people all the goddamn time, but there weren't mass executions like the Nazis did. Mm-hmm. So, but it was just they were forced to live their lives in the dirt, while the white people got to lead perfectly normal lives. And this is in the fucking 60s. This happened. So it's kind of crazy that it was just so short a time ago how a civilized country could do something like that, and how the rest of the world could sit by and watch it happen for so long.
That's not the only country. Unfortunately, that wacky shit is happening in still.
It's fucking crazy. So when he was born, the father died, like I said, and his mom she couldn't take care of the 5 kids. She's a woman. She's just, and that's not saying that sounded really bad right when I said it.
Yeah.
But I meant that she couldn't work. She couldn't work. She couldn't make money, so she couldn't. By law, she couldn't work. Kristen's getting upset with me. So, did you just call me Silent Bob?
Me.
Oh, okay. Everybody's Silent Bob. Yeah, I mean, and we're not making fun of this at all. We're making fun of how I'm talking right now. But she just abandoned them at a police station. All 5 kids.
Wow. So,
yeah, so they were put in an orphanage in KwaZulu. KWAZULU. KwaZulu.
Yeah.
KwaZulu Natal. But they just beat the shit out of these kids. So Moses ran away. He was away for about 3 years, and then he tried to get in touch with his older brother, whose name was Patrick, and he did. And he went to work with the Johannesburg gold mines.
That sounds awful.
Well, no, I think you meant to say awesome. Because,
sure?
I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, you're mining for gold, man. Like, so that you're not only getting your paycheck, but you get to find gold too,
Okay.
I'm sure it was a cushy gig, is what I'm saying.
As opposed to getting his ass whooped every day, or like fighting for a fucking crumb on the street. Yeah, I imagine it.
Well, here's where it starts to get pretty good. He was a slut from an early age.
Okay.
The article I read literally said that he was sexually precarious from an early age. Wait, precocious. Sorry. He was sexually precocious from an early age.
And who was documenting this?
Probably, yeah, you know what? He was in court. He was probably just like, "Oh yeah, man, I had sex all the time. You, no, you don't know her. She's from Canada. She goes to a different school.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it."
Yeah, they're from Canada. How many times have I heard that one?
Oh man,
It's funny shit.
I had a Canadian girlfriend. I went to Canada. I was there, and I had one. So no, really, I'm not just. Come on, he just said that they were missed. I know you are. I'm trying to get you to talk into the microphone though when you do that. So, he never had a lasting relationship. They all just went away super goddamn quick. Yeah. No, it's not. It's his mom's fault.
Oh, of course.
It is. That's what he says. He says that his mother's abandonment played a role in his aggressive ways towards women.
Fucking Freud.
Yeah, Freud indeed. The only thing good about Freud is that he did cocaine. Moving on.
Aside from the fact that he was clearly right a whole lot of the time.
He really was very right a lot of the time. You are correct. And you know, he was more right than Nostradamus was. I'll tell you that.
Thankfully, fuck. I'll take that any day.
Wait. Hold on. Yeah. No. But yeah, that's him. Yeah, Kristen's over here trying to give away the ending.
I'm trying not to hear these things.
Well, you can try all you want not to hear.
It doesn't work though.
It's okay. So, he reportedly also told some of his rape victims of his own bad experiences at the hands of previous girlfriends.
Oh.
So he would be being a monster, and then he would be like, you know, I'm the victim here.
Gaslighting.
What the fuck is wrong with kids today?
Seriously, that's like some classic movie shit where like he breaks down for a minute and has this whole episode about how mommy didn't love him enough, and you know, then grabs his hair and strikes, you know, fucking doing the whole head shaking thing, wigging out.
He didn't have hair. I sent you a picture of the dude. He didn't have hair.
Mm-hmm.
So that just gives that, you know,
you can grab your head
credence
at the same time, as if you have the demons in there, and shake it all about like, oh.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So, are we done laughing at whatever? That's Chris.
I don't know what you're talking about anymore. I lost you.
No, me too. I just so he was described as handsome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he not uneasy on the eyes, which is probably not a word. So
Double negative.
He was, but yeah. Why not double, triple? But he was also charming. So he was handsome. He was charming, and
a lot of them are though. That's kind of scary.
Oh yeah, John Wayne Gacy. He was a dreamboat.
Well, I mean,
Oof. Give me some of that big old fat clown ass. Oof.
You know, you had people like Dean Coral and fucking.
Dean Coral was an okay looking dude for the 80s.
Oh no, I'm not
with those
saying.
big-ass
I'm not one to judge.
Are we doing
physical attractiveness?
Are we doing which serial killers were the hottest?
No. I'm trying to say that he had the like you said, the dude had the charisma or whatever. He was.
Because if we're doing that. Because if we're doing a thing like that, thank you very much. Charles Bronson? Oh, Charles Manson? Oh, what, as ugliest? Handsome?
Charming.
He was...
He had the charisma.
Manipulative.
He had charisma. Yeah.
Charismatic.
Charismatic. But I mean, come on, Ted Bundy.
No, well,
Really?
yeah, Bundy takes the cake for that one. That was his whole thing. Like, that was his angle in the first place.
Bundy takes the fucking bakery. Fuck the cake. He. Come on, his only trick was, hey, I'm hot. Come help me find my car. And he had a unibrow. They didn't care. All over him.
Hey, sometimes.
And Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, he was attractive in his own way. You know, blonde hair. He had that weird mustache at the end, but I don't know. 80s glasses, those big, giant, weird, fucking wireframe glasses,
Horrible.
just will make anyone just look like you just want to punch him in the face. It's just, it's like people that blow giant vape clouds in public. I know we've already talked about this, but it's just,
I'm sorry, but you can say Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't difficult to look at all you want. That motherfucker had crazy in his eye. I don't care how pretty you are.
He worked out, man. Yeah, he had crazy in his eye. But we'll talk. We got to do a Jeffrey Dahmer episode. I'm gonna try not to do so many fucking serial killer episodes, but they're interesting and shit. But we'll get into his weirdness soon enough. I'm sure. Ted Bundy's hot. She's showing me pictures of Ted Bundy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's number one for sure. You said Charles Manson. He's dead. Oh yeah, hey everybody.
He is.
Oh, charismatic. God, yeah. But yeah, hey, just a few days ago, Charles Manson died.
How did he die? I didn't read it.
He was Charles Manson because he was old and he was just old.
Word.
But the weirdest thing about him is he never killed anyone.
Nope.
In prison for the rest of his life.
That he convinced other
You're gonna have to talk into the microphone if you're gonna do that.
No, we can hear it.
Yeah.
He was so charismatic that he convinced women to do it themselves.
No, it was the crazy dude on acid that convinced everybody. Tex. He came in, he was all on acid. He's like, hey, let's go kill some people.
Not true, because most of the women were in love with Charles Manson, so they
Yeah. Well, he was a cult. But I understand. Yeah. No. It was a religion, but they didn't have a cool enough name for it. And they didn't have money for the banner outside. So they just called themselves a cult and built some dune buggies in the desert until the cops fucking ran them off. So, you ready to get to the crimes of this fucking piece of shit son of a bitch that I'm talking about here?
I most certainly am. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to because I don't want to hold you up any longer. Continue.
So, more than most of his victims were, they were led on, willfully. Like, they went of their own free will to their assaults and often to their deaths.
Often?
Yeah, usually, in broad daylight.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
Wait.
What?
Yeah, wait.
What?
You got 37 people and
I mean, not like all at once.
they didn't all go to their deaths, so we're saying 37 of them did go to their deaths, but there was more than 37 that
And there was a toddler.
a few didn't
So,
actually. There were people that made it away from this guy?
I mean, probably.
Okay.
Yes. No. I don't know. Look, man, we'll get there.
All right,
Okay.
all right. I won't overanalyze. I'm sorry. Continue.
So he would take these women and he would act like he was offering them a job, and that's why they would willfully go with him. This is kind of crazy. He started an organization, like a charity. He started a charity for trying to end child poverty in South Africa.
Wow.
And so people saw him as, I wouldn't exactly say like a pillar of the community or something, but they saw him as a charitable man, that he had a wife and child. He was just a family man, and he ran this thing, and yeah, we'll go with you. I need a job. So he would
Not really a threat, huh?
Exactly. He was really smart, and he was just really good with people, and that makes these killings like way fucking creepier, because people just trusted him so fucking well. Thank you. That they just went willingly with him to their own deaths. I mean, they didn't know that they were going to die, but and then the fact that he did this shit just in broad daylight, like it's crazy. Like, he would just lead them off somewhere and do his deed.
Wow.
And so just to go ahead and kind of talk about it now, he was eventually charged with 38 murders and 40 rapes.
Good Lord.
And a ton of his victims weren't ever identified, which is fucked.
And he had a wife and kids?
He had a wife and kid.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's get in a little bit more to the specifics of the crimes that this life, and really, I mean, my problem with this is a lot of people would say, well, there's he grew up in this horrible shithole, a shithole, if you will, and he's running into extreme racism everywhere he goes. This is crazy times, but not every single one of those men did what he did.
This is true.
So it's kind of hard to. I mean, I don't feel sorry for him at all, because that would be stupid. But I could imagine people feeling sorry for him, saying, "Oh, but look where he came from."
Do we know if any of his other siblings had any violent issues?
It wasn't in the research that I read, and I didn't think to look up the family members either. So I don't know. Maybe, but we'll know, because wait, he is fucking crazy.
Well, did he wind up getting a
crazy.
medical diagnosis, like a psychological diagnosis or some shit like that?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't remember that well. But
okay.
I will say that he fucking, goddamn it, Chris. He just, that's right. He had a reason he was doing it. Well, he thought he had a reason he was doing it.
They all do.
Years before he started murdering,
the fuck?
Ooh, Chris has his fucking phone volume.
My bad. That was the tablet. I forget. God. Damn it.
Dude, really?
I didn't
Chris?
mean to.
Chris, really?
I'm turning it all off. I forgot. That's the one thing I forgot to do. Sorry, kids. My bad.
So goddamned. Just ugh. So years before he started murdering, he raped a woman and was caught by the police. Went to trial. The woman said, "Yes, that's the man. He raped me." He went to jail for 6 years, and he said, of course, he maintained his innocence the entire time, because Preston, as we know, if you just keep telling them I didn't do it, they will eventually be like, you know what, I believe him, and they just let him go, right?
Yeah.
Like that is how our judicial system works. Judicial system.
That's because sodium pentothal is technically illegal, and they haven't figured out.
And technically doesn't actually work. It's not actually a truth serum.
Oh,
There's
I don't
no
doubt
such
that at
fucking
all,
thing.
And it's supposed to be kind of
ridiculous.
painful too. Huh?
I heard it chills you out or whatever. I don't know. I've never had it, and I don't plan to have it, and I don't want it, and I don't want it done to me. And
Are polygraphs still inadmissible in court?
Yes, because polygraphs are stupid garbage that are fake and can be very easily turned completely around. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay, so when he got out of prison, because he was he was a rapist, and then he got out of prison. They released him early because of good behavior. So he went in, in 89, and then he got out in 93.
Wow.
So, you know.
4 years.
So, you know, you'd think that he probably thought this over in prison a bit, where if you didn't want to get caught for rape, you would have to murder your victim.
Well,
So
I mean, I guess that's one solution.
Instead of him just saying, you know what, maybe I should stop all the raping.
Yeah, that would be
because
the
it's
other.
fucked up. He said, oh, you know what, maybe I should just start killing them when I'm done. Like, just saying that just now fucking gave me the chills, because that's a goddamn... That's an answer to a problem that someone on planet Earth when I was alive had. And that scares the ever-living fuck out of me.
I mean, everybody thinks about killing somebody at some point. What scares me about that was that he thought that was a good idea.
Well...
And executed it many times.
And it's... I hate saying this, but it's almost like the murder isn't the big crime there. Like his intention to commit crime is to rape, and the murder is just a cover up. You know what I mean? So
it's only a few situations that you can that could happen where the murder would be like the lesser of the two evils, of the many evils. Good Lord. Fuck.
So, nobody really knows how long after he got out of prison he started his little spree. But between January and April in 95, the Atteridgeville, in Atteridgeville, 4 bodies of young black women were found strangled and most likely raped. And then this started, like, just... It's crazy the rampage this dude went on.
I didn't even think about that when you said about the segregation.
Just a smile.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No, I mean that's what you're supposed to do. But with the way he started this crazy just blind rage rampage is crazy. I keep saying crazy, but this dude snapped, but he did it all with a smile and a reassuring tone. You know what I mean?
Right. Did he kill all black women?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did. Which, unfortunately, is why we don't know all their names. And, well, really, it's why we don't know most of their names, which really sucks.
Yeah, there's a term for that. I forget what it's called. It's awful. Never mind.
Yeah, we're getting a little long here, but we have enough to get through this, and because I definitely don't want to do a second episode on this. But so we have, like, newspapers are starting to find an MO in all these different killings, and so the police they finally just had to admit that they had a serial killer on their hand. Then this is I mean, they're all fucking terrible, but this is it. Anyway, body of a 2-year-old son of one of the victims was also discovered. It had more media coverage, but when everybody's just like, they brought up in such violence, like extreme violence, nobody really cared very long.
Seems to me like he had no honor, or he would have left the toddler alive to at least allow him to try to exact his revenge one day.
I mean, of course this dude didn't have any honor. He's fucking...
unacceptable.
Anyway, I always do the depressing episodes.
Don't you?
But I find the reason I find shit like this just fascinating is because you get to see that regular life isn't just regular life, because there is no regular life. We all are just individual people that are flying through fucking space right now. And really anything that the human body can do, a human can and or will and or already has done.
Oh yeah.
But it's just it's black magic, but not the fun, good kind of black magic. It shows you that crazy shit that's completely out of the norm can and will happen, and it's so weird to me how that shit works.
It's beyond weird.
They recovered a number of bodies around the general vicinity of Pretoria, all over the next couple months and shit. They all had the same MO. They all had the same things happen to them, really.
Which was?
They all had been raped. They all had been tied up and strangled with their own underwear. And that started making the public have to think about it as well. So in July of 95, somebody saw him acting suspiciously while he was hanging out with a young woman. And then when he went to go take a look at it, he discovered her body. But he'd been too far away to really get a good look at the dude, so he couldn't say anything about it. He couldn't find him. Nothing. How would it feel to fucking be that guy?
Seriously.
Like, Preston, what's going through your head? You're that guy that you say you're 50 yards away from him, you see him, and then you're like, I wonder what's going on over there. You walk over there, and dead girl, no guy, and you either didn't see his face clear enough from how far away he was, or in your brain it didn't matter, right?
Well, of course it would matter, but what could I do, you know?
Exactly.
Why would you even think to do anything is my question. What are you worried about these other two people over here for? And why would you walk over there to see what the fuck they're doing if you don't know them?
Maybe there was some yelling and stuff, I mean, he did find a body when he got there. So,
well,
he had to...
I don't know. That kind of contradicts things, though, because you said they all went off, willingly, with a smile and shit.
Yeah, but when he starts raping and murdering them, there's not still going to be sitting there with a fucking polite smile because they think it's part of the job offer.
Well, it kind of is.
The murder's loud. Let's just leave it at that. So, they created a special investigation team. It was called the Pretoria Murder and Robbery Unit, so that they could find out if the bodies were a pattern, really, which everybody fucking knew it by then. So I don't think a special investigation team was necessary.
Yeah, and the acronym doesn't spell anything either. It's lame.
That's right. It should spell like the badass or something like that. Like, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Right now it spells you.
That's pretty good. You're good at that, Chris. You're good at. You're super good at that. So, as they came out with more victims, like they're fucking dropping albums.
It's like more mixtape, son.
More victims started to be identified, and like the day, time, and place of the death and stuff. When they were finding these bodies, it became super clear that his murder technique was just to inflict a lot of pain. Yeah, exactly. And I hate saying this, but it's a shame that I want to say that it's a shame that he couldn't stop before the killing, but of course it's a shame that he couldn't fucking stop at all.
Well, of course, but still, I mean, you'd rather be raped and alive than dead any day. I would imagine. I would imagine. I can't.
But
I'm not
this
trying
guy
to
was
speak
a
for people. I'm just.
This guy was a fucking ghoul. He was a.
My question. Do you think, okay, so if he was a sadist, obviously he was a sadist, but do you think perhaps that the strangling with the own panties was possibly a fetish thing, or do you think it was like more like a strategy of not having to bring your own weapon?
It was definitely a fetish thing. I mean, it was with their own, and it was every time. I mean, they had to have had something other than that around to strangle somebody.
Well,
you know?
what if they're not wearing panties? Then would you strangle them with their own shirt or something?
You let them go with a hearty handshake and some well wishes.
Well, I would, yes, but if you're a Sithole, perhaps you would think of something else.
So a whole lot of these fucking deaths, the victim was meeting someone who had promised them employment. And then they would turn up dead, you know. And then we have on September 95, a body was discovered at the Van Dyke mine near Boksburg. Sorry if anybody ever starts listening from South Africa. Pronunciations aren't our deal. They looked further into it, and it revealed a mass grave.
Wow.
Yeah. So forensic experts took out 10 bodies, and they were all in varying degrees of decomp. And this was all done in 2 days. So they were positive that the bodies were linked to the victims in Adderdsville. So that's when the media shit really picked up, and it was even President Mandela went to visit the scene of the mass grave because it was that serious. It was that serious. People were fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Which really, why wouldn't you be?
A little bit. I have so many weird thoughts about a mass grave. It's wow. Yeah, just the idea of a mass grave is terrifying.
I mean, yeah. In stumbling across one of those, you know, but
I don't. Never mind. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So this is when they called in and sought help from the FBI, because
our FBI.
Our FBI. Yeah, there's only one FBI.
Well, I mean, what? Why would they?
But that's not FBI. That's Interpol, which is like FBI. But I'm saying, like, if it says they called in the FBI, they straight up called in the FBI. And Chris, why don't you vamp for a second? Or, you know, even better, Preston, why don't you vamp for a second?
I don't know, but I just don't get why they would, if it was in where was it? South Africa. Why would they call the United States government when they have a federal bureau that is international? I don't know.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure Nelson Mandela helped that out, but it's because they had this one specific profiler named Robert Ressler, and he came in late September 95, and he came up with the profile that they were dealing with an intelligent, organized person, and he had a high sex drive. He was a responsible person, and he was operating with a lot of self-confidence.
Clearly,
and he may have. I mean, this is just in the profile. He may have had the assistance of another killer, but he would have been the killer. But he may have had somebody else who killed with him. You know what I mean?
A getaway driver or something.
Exactly.
Like, I almost feel like Detective Chris could have figured that out. Like, given all the evidence, that seems fairly clear that this guy had a high sex drive. Just fairly well confident.
But the intelligence part, the part where, you know, he was intelligent and organized, and then you have this, because it seems just like a sex fiend that just happens to get away with it all. But
I mean, a mass grave does kind of spell intelligent and organized.
Right. But this guy, he really, he went above and beyond. He planned and he schemed and he did all this shit just to kill people. I don't know. So
it's some kind of special, that's for sure.
So this is where it gets really cool. Okay, this is the arrest. While he was profiling, while the profiling was happening, while they were investigating the site, they found one of the victims, Amelia Rapidile. Say that, Chris. Say Rapidile.
Rapidile sounds... that's actually kind of fun. Rapidile.
Yeah, Rapidile. And that's just her name. I actually really like that name.
Yeah.
So, but she, of course, had last been seen before an appointment for a job to see a man named, come on, say it with me now, Moses Sithole. Come on, man, say it.
I can't. It's too much like shithole. I want to say shithole too much.
I want to say shithole so bad the whole fucking time.
We're avoiding saying shithole because Preston doesn't want to say shithole too many times.
That's right. He's got to save it so we can savor it.
I see.
It was wonderful.
Well said.
So, exactly. So, she was supposed to meet a guy named Moses Sithole on the 7th of September for, so they found the job application. They found which offer she got, from all that, and then they found another victim that basically was last seen doing the same thing. So the police were like, okay, this is good. We got, we have a really fucking good suspect now. But then they couldn't find him. Even though he runs this organization and shit, they couldn't find him. So he just kept killing. He knew about the manhunt. He knew about the, through all the media attention and shit. And,
wow.
But then the body of Agnes Mabuli, M-B-U-L-I.
See? That African shit again. I'm telling you.
Agnes Mabuli.
Those are two consonants that should not be next to each other.
M and B is...
Unless they end the word.
I don't think words should start with an M unless there's a vowel.
Or maybe in the
it.
middle of the word, but there's got to be a vowel on both ends. Yeah. Sorry.
It's
Continue.
Just really... well, they found her body on October 3rd of that same year. And then the day that they found her body, a phone call was received at a newspaper called The Star from someone claiming to be the serial killer. He had information that the general public didn't, and police were pretty fucking sure that it was Sithole.
This guy's balls are growing exponentially, huh?
Well, it's just like BTK, where he sent a fucking floppy disk with his taunt or whatever.
What a dumb fuck that was.
And they see on the floppy disk that it belonged to the church down the street.
Yeah.
And the guy who runs the fucking room in the church down the street is the fucking BTK killer.
What a goddamn moron. Oh my god.
Oh man, but he's probably the creepiest fucking killer to me.
Ah,
just
what a fucking douchebag that guy was, though.
The way he would tie himself up and take pictures. He would have to make a rig. Okay, anyway. It's bad.
That's some dungeon shit right there.
The cops attempted to set up a meeting with Sithole after the phone call, which, what the fuck? Why would they possibly think that he would go anywhere to see the goddamn police? His
ego.
Yeah, his ego. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you tried everything else, you might as well
just invite the dude.
Go for hubris. Yeah, see what you get.
So, for this hubris, 3 more bodies were discovered over the next 10 days.
Wow.
So the police released Sithole's detail to the media. So they're like, "Hey, this is what he looks like. Help us find him."
3 more bodies before they did that, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But now, since everybody knows about it, he had to seek, but he had to go to family, like he was trying to go to family so he could, lay low, but an undercover cop intercepted him, which means, he walked past him and he caught the football from the other guy's quarterback.
Picked him off, son.
Yeah. So.
Good God, I would like to hope that no family member would ever house and lay low that kind of fucking monster. Seriously.
I don't know, dude. Guy's a complete and utter. He's a cocksucker, and that's all there is to it. He didn't want to go quietly. Is that weird?
No.
Is that a weird thing that he would fight his? So
sounds like a true villain to me.
He ended up getting shot in the leg and in the stomach by a cop, and he was hospitalized, operated on, which I don't know if I feel better about him being in prison than I do if he had just died. Like he took so many out in just a horrifying, just terrible way, and he gets to get shot twice and get medical attention and fucking that's just crazy.
And let's not have the moral roundtable discussion about humanity and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I'm right there with you. I agree completely.
Well, we'll have that'll be our next round.
I think it's admirable that the cop specifically shot him in two places that weren't going to kill him.
Or maybe he's just a terrible shot.
I mean, that's what they're trained to do. So perhaps it was just an instinctual sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, but
so he was transferred to the military hospital in Pretoria, where he admitted to like a bunch of the killings, but he also denied ever having an accomplice. So he's saying that he did all of this on his own, and that he was thinking that a copycat murderer was killing women as well the same way. So 5 days after that, we're in October 23rd. 95. He was charged with 29 murders and by the magistrate court in Brakpan. So we're at 29 murders, which, as we know from the beginning, is not the final number. They brought him to Boksburg prison, where he served 2 years of. Where he served the 2 years he was in jail earlier for the first rape, same prison.
Wow.
And then while he's there, the press started reporting that he was HIV positive.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So
was that true, or they were just reporting it?
No, it was true.
Oh,
it was true. So by the time his trial began, they just found more and more evidence. So the number of murders increased from 29 to 38, and then 40 counts of rape and 6 counts of robbery. He pled not guilty to all charges. I'd have been like, yeah, I did the robberies.
Good Lord. Yeah.
I'll plead to that.
What difference does it make?
Because Jesus Christ. That's so...
Did he actually rob him, though?
Yeah, he committed robbery for sure.
But didn't you say he confessed?
No. Well, he did to some murders, but I mean, come on, they go back and forth on shit like that all the time. So they like the prosecutors are building this chronological timeline of his crimes, you know, and they got testimonies from like early rape victims, just what they fucking went through with this dude. Then they started to talk about each of the murder victims, and they had testimony about the job offers, the specific way he would lure them to kill him, but Sithole just appeared fine. He was just cool and calm and collected through the whole thing. Textbook fucking yes, absolutely.
Wow.
So on December 3rd, 96, the prosecution brought in a video that was shot of Sithole in prison, which I think you can find this video. I'm not 100% positive. I don't know. Anyway, so for some reason I was thinking about the. I don't think it's Henry Lee Lucas. Who's the terrible drifter murderer guy that went to prison somewhere and got boob implants while he was in there and was doing coke with people and as they were filming it?
What?
Yeah,
I don't think that was Henry Lee Lucas. No.
Well, it sure as fuck wasn't Otis.
No, it wasn't that.
Okay.
Well, but there were other drifter murderers, weren't there? Besides
I'm
them
sure.
and Eileen.
I'm sure there's a bunch now. Like right this second.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Either.
So on December 3rd, 96, the prosecution brought in that video, and in it he admitted to 29 murders. He shows and describes his technique, but he claims that he began his spree in July, which I think just blatantly know is not true. And this is just fucked. He picked his victims because they looked like his prison. It looked like his rape victim, his first one that sent him to prison. That's why he killed these women.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
for some reason, I thought you were going to bring it back to the Freud thing and
no,
like they all resembled his mom in some kind of way.
Yeah, I mean they still might have, but this dude just calculated everything perfectly just to kill women that looked like the woman that put him away in prison for 2 years.
A lot of serial killers use surrogates. People that look like a specific target of rage.
Absolutely.
I mean, that makes sense. I can see why that would happen when your brain breaks in such a way.
It's scary it's scary what can happen to someone when their brain breaks.
Man, and there's so many ways to break a brain accidentally. You know, there's more ways to do it accidentally than there are to do it on purpose right now.
Accidentally scares me.
Way worse for me.
No, what's way worse for me is medically induced, not induced, but like internal growing brain breakage that modern medicine can't find until it's too late.
Oh yeah.
That's what scares me.
Yeah. That's earlier when you were mentioning how let's see, what did you say? So it's something along the lines of how, some people were upset that or would make a case of how fucked up his childhood was and make that a case for an excuse. Well, not really an excuse, but a reason. And
an explanation.
In my mind, it comes down to one of two things. Like, it's either your physiology or it's your psychology, right? One of those two things is not, let's say, normal, for lack of a better colorful word. So, everybody's brain is just this massy jelly fucking folded up piece of shit, right? But if your brain has one of those folds that's a little closer together, almost touching than my brain does, then the synapses act quicker, and then that could lead to all kinds of other shit down the road. So that's a physiology sort of thing. Everybody knows what the psychology sort of thing is, but it's the physiology, in my mind, that is harder to deny than the psychology part.
Oh, well, yeah, because it's there. You can see it. You can see it, with your own eyes, why something is the way it is, why it's different, and why there's no guessing, and there's no, is this person just crazy? I don't know. But yeah, that is weird. So, but all right, we're starting to get long here. We got 10 minutes left. We're doing this. So they
we're doing this.
the legality, which I can't. That's a hard word to say right now for some reason. The legality of his tape, though, they fought over it pretty good, because they were like, his defense was like, you can't show that tape, and the prosecution was like, yes we can.
Was it super
and then
graphic?
The defense was like, you can't, because it was a private tape, and you don't have no right to it. And then the prosecution was like, we're gonna show it anyway. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Yeah. And so they showed it after like a whole delay thing from the 29th until later. It was delayed until the 29th. But they ruled that the tape was admissible, so they could show it. Yeah. The whole trial went on. The prosecution rested its case on August 15th, 97. The defense, they depended just almost completely on Sithole's denial of any involvement whatsoever with the killings. None.
Wow.
When he took the witness box, but he was just rambling and incoherent the entire time.
Wow.
Because he was broken. Yeah. So on December 4th, 97, and this is more than a year after the last case, he was found guilty on all charges. It took 3 hours to read the verdict.
Jeez.
You'll see why. The consequence that they had to actually postpone his sentencing to the next day because it was so long. The next morning, the judge said that in view of the abhorrent nature of the crimes, he would have had no hesitation in pronouncing a death sentence on Sithole. However, since the death penalty had been abolished, declared unconstitutional in 95, he was sentenced to 2,410 years in prison with no possibility of parole for at least 930 years.
What?
Yeah, okay, I mean, this is just
designed
it's designed completely to keep him in prison for the rest of his life, because that's where he should be if they can't kill him. I'm sorry.
No. Light speed too slow. We're going to have to go right to ludicrous speed.
So, 2,410 years with no...
I've never heard anything like that.
He could possibly get out on parole if, good behavior and such in 930. So that's, that's not so...
Oh,
bad.
yeah. Because if we make that transhumanist move onto that super longevity, he's going to be one of the people that we want living forever.
Oh, about the transhumanist episode, we said we were going to do like a follow-up or something. We're not doing it. Go fuck yourselves. So the aftermath of all this was that he was incarcerated at the maximum security section of Pretoria Central Prison, which is the highest security cell block in the entire country. It's known as the C-Max. And the crazy thing about this, though, and the part that pisses me off second most, is that the medical treatment that he gets for his HIV is way fucking better than anything the average South African can get. So he'll be alive in prison a lot longer than he probably should be.
What do they get given in the Magic Johnson special or what?
Yeah, he's got the Magic Johnson special. Absolutely.
Fuck, he might be around this 937 years. That doesn't look like Magic's going anywhere anytime soon either. Which I'm a fan, don't get me wrong, but...
This is why stop making me say so and stop it. So, this guy was a fucking monster, man. I mean, he was sentenced to 50 years for each of the 38 murders, 12 years for each of the 40 rapes, and 5 years for each of the 6 robberies. And his shit runs consecutively. So that's, yeah. So December 5th, 1997, he got 2410. Oof.
That's crazy.
So, and he is still in prison. So, Chris, tell me, what have you learned this episode?
Well, for one thing, you thought I was just going to let you glaze over the denial of my next transhumanism episode. I learned that that's not going to happen. On top of that, I think it's just going too far when the life leaves them. It's okay to choke people with their own panties. Just don't do it to the point that
it's not okay. No, Chris, go back on that right now.
No, I'm not doing it. This is a fetish thing. Fetishes are okay, except to the point that you push them past the limit. If you've already raped her, she has no safe word. This is This has gone too far already. You're a criminal. This is evil. It's wrong. I'm not saying that anything you did was right. All I'm saying is you gotta stop. You shouldn't kill people. It's not okay. Not even with their own panties. It's not okay.
Chris, for some reason, this apartment just keeps getting Forbes magazine. Nobody here reads Forbes magazine. This is ridiculous.
Okay.
There's a fucking advertisement for a goddamn personal jet in this motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
Who the fuck lived in this apartment before?
Well, that was a good way to stop me from talking about what I was talking about. Well done, sir. Done.
So while you were talking about that, what I really was thinking about saying the most was, that email again is see no, hear no, speak no pod @gmail.com. If you have problems with Chris, take them up with Chris.
Yeah, come find me. Come find me.
So Preston, our very first guest ever. It's you threw in what everything you threw in was super helpful. Just you did a good job, and I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I felt like
I
missed
you learn?
Though, even though you were right here.
Yeah, it's like what did you learn from the episode? Just overall about the human condition or something. Just
that there's no telling how fucked up people can get. That there are people that do as little as steal from other people, and then there are fucking people like this that go on killing sprees and just don't stop. It's crazy.
It's where's that line that crosses from just violence to annihilation,
right?
And how small is this line, and how often is it crossed? And reading more about just South African serial killers in particular, it's a lot of, it's not like apartheid revenge, but it's all of these young black men were raised in a culture of extreme brutal violence, mostly from the authority. So when the authority stopped being the authority, shit went down, and shit went down real fucking hard there. So I blame this man for everything he did, and in every way do I fucking blame this man, because he was a horrible piece of shit monster that just I can't believe he's just living it up in a prison hospital, fucking getting help for his HIV.
There are some there are some killers out there who truly do feel remorse even while they're doing it, but can't stop themselves from doing it. And then there are the people who clearly genuinely enjoy this shit.
Yeah, indeed.
And it makes me wonder, like Preston was saying, that there's so many different kinds of ways that people can be fucked up. My question is, how many different ways can the brain be broken to produce the same types of effect in this way.
Well, I think it's there's only so far that a human can go, even when they're going all the way. You know what I mean?
I don't know, though. I don't know.
There's only so far. I mean, what else can you do other than what this guy did? If you're going all the way fucking negative, you are fucking chaotic evil on the D&D scale. This is about as bad as it gets.
I mean, yeah, I'm not disputing that. This is about as bad as it gets. I don't. There are still worse things, and people have done them. I don't know that they've done them out of pleasure, but it's entirely possible, man. There's a lot of governments, there's a lot of armies, and they all have those guys that are there for yeah brutal things.
So you know what? We're gonna go ahead and end it here because this is goddamn. It's a long episode. But one thing I want to say is fucking Jesus Christ, get help, people.
Yeah.
That's all. Just fucking call somebody. Call your mom. Tell her that you love her.
Yeah, let's start with a little self-awareness.
Yes, before you decide to kill anyone, just kill yourself. You know? Like, just nip that shit in the bud.
Yeah. I approve this message. I think that's a good endorsement for suicide. That's probably the only good endorsement for suicide right there.
I would say it's a little more than probably the only. It is because that's fucking ridiculous. But anyway, next time we visit Africa, because I'm planning this episode for the future, we are going to talk about General Butt Naked and the Tupac Army.
What?
It's going to be a fucking blast, except for the fact that they were all child soldiers and decapitated people for their power and shit.
Holy ball sacks of fire. That sounds awesome.
I have been Jason Rambo for this wonderful little get-together meeting of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
Yeah, all that. He always tries to throw me off of my cue, kids. I don't know why he does this.
It works every fucking time, too. I love it.
It does, because I always think things are going to be so simple and stay on the plan, but no. Jason strays. In any case, I have once again been Chris Barrios for the UFOs, conspiracies, and fucking shit ton of murders this time.
A shit ton of murders this time. And who was our guest again there, buddy?
Preston with no last name.
That's right. And yeah, he's definitely going to be on the next roundtable show that we do, because I think he'll have more to say than tonight, just because I've seen him get impassioned about certain subjects, and it's fun.
Brain's a little fried right now.
So you'll hear him again. And it is now, what time is it?
The next roundtable discussion is going to be fun, too.
It's 2:30 in the morning, so I think it's time to say au revoir.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sayonara.
You ready? You ready to stop it? We're going to go 3. We're going to go, and then we're going to go 2, and then we're going to hit a 1, and then we are all going to hit stop on our recording, and right now, bye-bye.
Peace.
When I get home, I lounge on my cell phone, make my money happy because I get so paid. Making my money rapping on my techno rave. I can take around the world, let's go, babe. When I step up and do it, I put you in the farm. I said, motherfucking click, gotta go in hard.